get them in the evening too. I get the blues in the morning. How about you? I get that lonely, lonely feeling they call the New London Blues. I get the lonely, lonely feeling they call the New London Blues.
Good evening, welcome to the LOT Show. My name is Larry Hample. Usually you'll see Dr. Hayes here on this side running things, but due to a conflict of scheduling, he's not here. But I managed to get a lifesaver visitor here anyway. Dennis from New London.
We should put your mic on.
Didn't I put it on?
Nope.
It fell off. Uh-oh. Do I have to repeat it?
No, you don't have to repeat it.
I don't have
Everybody
to repeat
knows
it,
who
they
you
tell
are.
me.
They know all about LOT with the meeting the second and fourth Wednesday of the month,
Oh.
and the senior center at 7, and all that good stuff.
I would have gone through the whole show if you weren't here.
Well, she came, the voice came in, and
Oh, I didn't even hear her.
she was right, but you couldn't see her because of the lights.
Well, anyway, like Dennis says, we meet twice a month, the second Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday. Hopefully somebody will show up someday to come down and see what we're doing. We try every month. Actually, we've been trying for nearly 15 years now
Yeah, long time.
to help keep our tax rate down.
And
Well,
yeah,
most of the time it doesn't look like it, but I believe over the years, pretty sure we managed to slow the rate down. We can't kill it, but we managed to slow it down. Now, what I want to start off with tonight is the passage of the budget. To me, I was quite surprised that they passed that. Well, not surprised that they passed the budget, surprised that they did pass it some time ago, but then they kind of changed their mind and decided to reduce it back down to what, zero growth?
Zero on the city side and
And what, 1 point
something
or
or other
something,
on the
education side, but
which I'm surprised at
the
too,
city-
because
city-
nobody has stepped up to referendum the Board of Ed budget. And I think it's too late now.
Well, yeah, because that's been passed some
Yeah.
time ago. But I was surprised that they beat the new rate down. Was we've been, as homeowners, have been trying that for years and years, and they never managed to beat it down completely like they did this time. So I was trying to figure out how that happened. As what we learned, or I learned, that it was the downtown city merchants that were responsible for it.
City Center District.
City Center District, they said, lower the taxes, or, lower the growth of taxes, or we're taking our business elsewhere. Hey, it sounded pretty good, but us homeowners, we've been saying that for years.
Well, see, the difference is that the businesses downtown, they'll do one or two things. Either they'll fold because they can't afford to stay open with the taxes, or they'll pick up and they'll leave. They can. I don't know how many businesses downtown, the owners live here, but there's a lot of them that don't. So, the ones that don't live here can pick up and go somewhere else. Now, the homeowner goes before the council and says, if you don't lower them taxes, I'm moving. And they look at you and go, yeah, right, like you can sell your house.
They just thumb your nose.
They know you can't sell your house.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go?
Yeah, so you're pretty close to what I had come up with too,
Yeah.
that we're captives. Homeowners, we're captives in town. So
Yeah.
they just laugh at us. But the businesses, you come down to it and think, what is a business? A business is a piece of paper. That's all it is. It's all on paper. All they have to do is pick up that piece of paper and go to another town, and the business is moved.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about selling it. Look at Pfizer's. They spent $300 million to build that building down there. So you think they invested $300 million in town? They're never going to leave, right? No, when their tax break was up, they picked up their piece of paper and said goodbye.
And the thing of it is they didn't care about that property or the buildings because they turned around and sold it to EB for what, like $50 million? So,
50, because...
but what I'm getting at is they took a over $200 million loss on the property.
Yeah, but in the 10 years they were here, they saved $100 million in taxes.
That's true. That is true.
That they should have been paying. So with that scratches off $100 million right there, and then all of the tax credits and deductions and everything else, they didn't lose a dime, because what they're doing is moving a piece of paper, which is their business, and go. Now, if they were forced to dismantle the building, if they were leaving, they wouldn't have left. Because
Or,
then they would have lost money.
or if the city had the foresight to, when they wrote up a contract for any business that comes into town and gets a tax abatement, and it states, if you leave after a certain amount of time of your tax abatements being over, you will have to pay the city back what you saved in taxes.
Yeah,
And they could put that in a contract.
yeah,
Now, a company may say, well, I ain't gonna go for that. We'll see you later.
yeah, yeah.
It's not like we're getting any money from Fort Trumbull area now, so, you know.
Well, let me see, the only money we're getting is from the one building that was
Yeah.
left there.
But I mean, we've been going how many years in that type of situation?
Well, let's see, from 99,
Yeah.
and what, 15 years?
Now, I saw on Facebook a comment some lady made, and I tried to get her to elaborate on it, and she wouldn't get back to me. And I haven't seen it since, but she had mentioned something about EB leaving that place.
They can.
Not what we really want to hear.
No, but when their 10 years tax break is over, they can just pick up and leave. You know, it was brought up at the parking garage the other afternoon, about, need more parking, and mentioned again about the possibility of a parking garage in Fort Trumbull. And I said, definitely no. I'm not going to spend all that money for a garage for EB when they can just pick up and leave. And, Kip down there says, just like you mentioned now, well, we put it in the contract, that if they decided to leave, they would have to pay the entire cost of the garage. But,
There's no need to build a garage down there.
well, I brought that up too. Now, I says, I've asked this for years. Why can't we make an on the ground parking lot there on the property there on Howard Street? And the economics developer was right there, sitting next to me.
Where the old Huey's used to be? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I said, look, you got the property there, it's sitting there.
Yeah.
I said, make it a parking lot and have the EB park. Oh, no, that's going to cost money. Well, what are you talking about a garage for then? That's going
How
to
much
cost
money
50 times as much.
How much money could that cost? You gotta mow down the lawn. There's already tar there, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
Put up a makeshift fence.
they said, well, they got to put in all kinds of drainage and everything else and
don't.
jump through 60 or 70 other hoops.
You're not
like they
making a
always do.
permanent parking lot, dear.
Well,
You're just giving them a place to park.
no, but, I think of it is, they're always looking for ways to spend money or to give something away to businesses. Because I went to listen to the results of one of the studies they had there on the parking lot. Oh, must be 6 years ago now, saying, they had to have a study to see what shape the ground was in.
Yeah, maybe you got like
And,
$200,000 or something for that,
for the study.
do the study, yeah.
And they said what they can do is put in cap it with 2 foot of, the particular kind of
Yeah.
dirt that they use. And I interrupted them. I said, well, wait a minute. You just told me there's a section where the pond used to be there. That was just, loaded with trash. That dropped 2 feet. I said, so that whole section, you mean you got to put 4 feet? Oh, yes, that's right. They said you got to put 4 feet of fill in there, to make it level.
Yeah.
And
Well, what's to stop it
That's
from
fine.
sinking again?
most likely it'll gradually sink over the years because that was all water many years ago.
So
But
how
then
many
it's
cars
still-
you think they get in there?
Oh, in that section, I have no idea what the dimensions are or how much room, because one side towards Shaw Street, it goes up, and I guess there's a drainage ditch there somewhere. No, but to me, it's, perfectly logical to make a surface parking lot there.
Yeah.
And,
City can make a little bit of money.
but, no, then
Now-
I says, look at how you're screwing around with parcel J. He
Oh.
says it's about, 42 years? The development, Tammy was there. 42 years, you never did anything with it. Because he was saying, well, that's not a very good thing to do, to make a parking lot. Not enough money in it. I said, well, now you sound like Mayor Sevilla when somebody wanted to do a little bit of the building on parcel J. She didn't want any little run-of-the-mill business there. It wouldn't make enough money. Well, 40 years of making a little bit of money? We haven't made a thing
Well,
out of it.
maybe if there was something there making a little bit of money, maybe somebody else would come along and say, well, geez, maybe I'll build next to that.
yeah.
There's already something there.
Well, but they have no interest, really. I don't know why they have this Department of Economic
Development,
Development and
or planning and development.
Economic Planning and Development. I don't know why they have that. What have they done? The last time they actually did anything in town was when they tore down so much, half of the north end of town, and they wound up putting in all of the low-income housing. That was in the 60s.
Yeah, I
They-
don't think,
they
I don't
did
know.
that.
I wasn't here then.
And, well, of course, they're going to say, look, we put in Pfizer's. Yeah, what a big loss that is. So, like I said, I don't know why they have such an outfit as development.
It
It does nothing.
amazes me that, I don't know, maybe we need to get someone in the city that knows real estate, knows how to market real estate, knows how to look outside the box when it comes to real estate, know how to go out of the state of Connecticut, go all over the country, and market some of this land we have. I know we don't have a lot, because we're a small little city, but they could market Partial J, they could market Fort Trumbull, and go out there and look at a bigger picture, because the people we have doing it now aren't getting it right. And all it is going year after year after year, nothing. Now, Cluin goes to the city council and asks for a 6 months extension on a year extension that they already got. Now we're gonna be into 2.5 years and then being the prime developer
Yeah.
of that property.
So it means
Now, they're getting sucked in with this company from Philadelphia that wants to build, I don't know, what is it, middle income housing or low income housing, whatever the hell they
Well,
want to
it'll
build.
wind up low income.
Well, we know that. We know that's gonna happen. And they want to build 100 and something, units.
104, something like that.
and then they want option on another part of the property to build
Yeah.
another 80. And Cluins are gonna be the company that's gonna build it. So now you got a whole connection thing going on
Yeah.
here. So now you got prime status on partial J. If these folks get that land at Fort Trumbull, what are they gonna pay, $1 for it? Isn't that what the last group paid?
Yeah.
So now they're gonna have that. Cluin's gonna end up being this, owning a lot, not owning a lot, but in control of a lot.
Well, because he'll be the contractor.
Yeah.
He'll make a pile of money just being the contractor when the job is done.
So if he's building these apartments, affordable housing, how is he gonna have time to build partial J? So what's gonna come first?
Oh, well, I don't think either one of them is gonna really come first.
Well, I don't think so either, but I'm just saying, you know, if
But you-
things went according to plan, I mean, you gotta look at what you have to offer a company.
high taxes.
Yeah, you got that right. Can you believe that? 6.5 square mile city and we're paying almost 40 mils in taxes,
Now, you say 6.5 miles,
square miles.
square miles. Now, the mayor the other night said, oh yeah, he did say 6.5, but I've heard 5.9
Oh, yeah.
and 6.2, and, another thing he said the other night was 46% of the town was tax exempt. Now, on the earlier program, he said 40% of the town was tax
It's
exempt.
more than that.
Well, I'm telling you what he said. Now, to me, the last official figure that was published was when Brown was manager. And at that time, he said 58% of the town was tax exempt. Now, that's some years ago, so
Yeah.
it's got to be at
Hasn't
least
gotten
60.
less.
It's got to be at least 60% of the town now is tax exempt. So
That's
the
so
mayor was
insane.
saying with the new ruling they're coming up with in the state, depending on how poor the town is because of tax exempt properties, the more tax exempt properties you have, the higher the amount of money is that the state is going to give you.
Yeah, I think it's up to like $5 million. I think is the figure I'm hearing, that the city could
Well,
stand
now
to
that's
gain.
another thing. 6-8 months ago, the mayor said we were getting 5.2 million for pilot money.
Yeah,
And at that time now, he said that's only 17% of what the real tax should be.
yeah,
so
but what it should be and what you're gonna
17%.
get is two different things.
No, well, 5.2 million, he says, is 17% of what it should be. So the 100%, that would come out to about 35 million that the state should be paying.
But that's not gonna happen.
Oh, wait a minute now. Ernie Hewitt says we give you people in town 39 million.
Over how long a period of time?
No, 1 year.
In 1 year, the state has given us, you know how the state, this is my understanding of it, the state gives us $39 million.
Yeah.
We give the state 48 million, and I'm just using a
No,
figure.
well,
48, what do we take all the money according to our grand list, and the amount of money we pull in, and we turn around and we give 40+ million to the state of Connecticut. They turn around and give us back
Yeah.
a certain amount of money. So where is the state giving us money?
Well, this is what I was saying to Hewitt.
We're
when
getting
he
our
was-
own friggin' money back.
When he was telling me, well, we give you 39 million. I said, Ernie, at that time, I said, we give you 42 million. Yeah, but we give you 39 million. Ernie, we give you 42 million.
You know, they just figure that most people don't care.
Yeah.
They're not going to sit back like yourself. I mean, you get into the tax things probably more than anybody I know, and you understand it probably better than most people I know. But most people don't grasp it like that. So when the mayor's saying this or Ernie's saying this, all they're seeing is the headline. You know, like, oh, wow, I mean, the state's going to give us another $5 million in pilot funds. But that's going to be, if you don't raise your taxes in a year, over 2.5%. And I know we went around about this 2.5% thing.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, I know you will. But
Now that you brought it
but
up.
it all comes with It all comes with stipulations. You know, we're not getting nothing for nothing.
Yeah, of course not.
And they're not doing it because they say, oh, poor New London.
Yeah.
They're going to give us $5 million, and yet they have to turn around and tax in Lawrence Memorial more than $5 million. They're taking away a lot of their tax breaks, which is going to probably come to more than $5 million. Because you know, if the state's giving us $5 million of it, they're going to get
Well,
a lot.
yeah, but think about this. This is a small town. 60% tax exempt. So we pay the property taxes and the car tax. Oh, that's something else I want to bring up too. And that right now that amounts to 40 million that we pay in town. Our property tax, 40 million. And besides that, it's over 40 million that we give to the state with, state income taxes and sales tax. So that's over $80 million right there. Now, that's not counting the tax you pay to the federal government.
Yeah.
I can only guess at that figure. Let's say that's, another 20 million.
And let's not forget
There's
the money we
100
pay to the school system.
No, I'm just saying this is the taxes that this town is paying out right now. At least $100 million in taxes, with 60% of the town tax exempt.
That's a heavy burden.
Yeah, but like you said, nobody thinks about it. Nobody figures these things. And then they're going to give us back 39 million? 39 million? Well, they're going to be forced to give more than 39 million because the school budget is, 40,
So
41?
Ernie was telling you that the state's giving us back
39 million.
39 million?
39 million.
every year?
Well, of course. Because we're paying 40 million every year in property tax. We're giving the state over 40 million
What a vicious circle.
in tax. And before you forget, I'll talk about the car tax. The mayor's trying to say, it's going to be so wonderful for everybody that the taxes on the cars are going down.
Only if you don't go up in the budget more than 2.5%.
No, I'm not that far yet.
No, I'm just
But
saying, for the
how-
first year.
How can we, you're paying property tax on the house and on the car. So the budget is planned on the property tax from the house and the car, the same rate. Okay, we're going to do away with the car tax. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, then what we're paying on the car tax gets added to the house. So you got to pay the same amount of tax anyway. Now, if you kept the car tax, every year the value of the car goes down. So in theory, you're going to be paying less taxes on your car because the car tax, the value goes down.
It would sound
But
to
your
me,
house goes up.
it would sound to me like it would benefit the renter more than anybody with the car tax.
Yeah. But the guy that owns the house, he's going to have to pay higher taxes.
Yeah.
So, You know, there's,
But if you have a rental property, and it's more than, say, a two-family, say it's 3, 4.
you're a
more,
business.
Yeah, you're a business. But if your property tax goes up,
Yeah,
people say, well, you know, the renters are gonna pay more
yeah,
because the landlord's gonna tack that cost onto the renters.
yeah,
Now, if it costs, say the increase is $500, you as a homeowner gotta come up with $500. You as a homeowner that has 5 tenants have to come up with, each tenant might have to come up with another $100 to make
Yeah.
that $500.
yeah,
That tenant is paying $100 extra a year.
yeah,
You're paying $500
Yeah.
extra a year. It doesn't balance out. I mean, they still pay. I'll give the renters that. They still pay.
yeah,
But not, and this is nothing against them. That's,
yeah.
the homeowner is still paying the bulk
Oh, yeah.
of what's going on.
We always are.
And when I see budgets, it still blows my mind. And I see, what's the grand list?
The grand list.
And it's showing, and I have to count it. I have to go, wait a minute. 100,000,
Yeah.
million, billion?
Billion.
And it's showing us that our grand list value is over $1 billion.
Yeah.
It takes a while for that to comprehend, because I'm saying if our grand list is over $1 billion, why are we having problems?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And to be honest, it still doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but the bigger question is, how did it get to be 1.5 billion?
Well, when
Right.
Pfizer's left, didn't it come down? Wouldn't it have dropped?
No, because
EB?
the building, they were only paying taxes on the building, which they decided was only worth 50 million. And EB picked it up right away. It was still 50 million. So, that,
Well, you know, we just gave permission, not all of us. Some of us voted to give the council and the mayor the authority to bond almost $200 million
yeah,
for a school project. EB bought that whole complex for $50 million.
yeah,
So if EB gets the hell out of there, or if we go to EB and say, look, we want to buy this complex for $100 million and put all the magnet schools in one spot,
yeah.
wouldn't that seem more logical? Do you think that spot could hold all the magnet schools that they want to do in the city?
The trouble, I can see right off the bat there, would the entire insides of that building would all have to be all knocked out and rebuilt, because that's filled with cubbyhole offices for
Yeah.
engineers. They all have their own little...
Okay, so we got
own
almost
little
$200
rooms.
million in bonding.
Yeah,
We buy it for $100 million. That leaves us $100 million to revamp the inside to fit all of our schools in there. If you can't revamp that building for $100 million,
yeah. Well, no, that's a good
and then,
idea,
then we can get rid of these other schools. We don't have to build no new schools. We knock down the schools we have,
yeah,
or at least keep the playing fields,
yeah,
you know. Knock down most of it. We don't have the upkeep. We got a brand-new building. We got a chance now to upkeep this building from scratch instead of trying going in and repairing a building that's 80 years old or 50 years old or whatever. And we save money in the long run.
yeah. Well, then while you're at that, since the council, all they have in mind is giving the property away that's on Fort Trumbull, there's that great big area that the 2 or 3 developers are after. Put your ball fields right in there,
There you go. Didn't even think of that.
right across
It's
the
all
street.
flat and ready to go.
Yeah.
And you can walk there without ever getting on the road.
Well,
And you got the fort. So that's an added plus to the school system. We may be onto something here, Larry. Anybody out there listening? Let us know what you think. I think it's a great idea.
yeah, because like you say, you can't count on EB.
No.
No.
And I'm sure they'd sell out in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I want to say something else about EB because they're really starting to tick me off. I had to go to the doctor's this
Yeah.
afternoon when I got up. Nothing bad, just a physical. I left the house at roughly 10 after 3. I hit downtown,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was like running into a brick wall.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, I should have known better, because this has happened to me twice before.
Yeah.
The second time, I said, well, I'm going to beat this. I'm
Yeah.
going up J Street and go that way. No, that didn't work either. All these EB guys and gals know how to get out of downtown.
Yeah.
So I don't care what you think you're going to do to keep these people in town, you are not going to keep them in town.
No.
If you find a way to stop them from going through the streets at a certain time, they will find a way for their cars to go over water.
Yeah, yeah.
They are going to get out of here. They know every way out of
Yeah.
this city possible. And when they leave, you might as well just stay home
Yeah,
and wait till 4:30, 5 o'clock.
yeah, yeah, I know.
So, with that in mind, you build a museum downtown. You can build it at Fort Trumbull, I don't really care. But you're going to have twice the traffic problems.
And don't forget the other thing, what your financial director says. He says every day in town there are 75,000 people. Don't you remember him?
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Matt?
remember you telling me that, and I remember reading that.
75,000 people in town. And your pal Heislop didn't understand it. Where'd you get those numbers, he's saying. I said,
I'd like to know
"Well,
where
it's
you
in the
got them
same
numbers."
report. You've got it right there on your desk. You just turn the page, you'll see it there. It's from the financial director. 75,000 people in town every day.
I don't know how he gets that. The only possible way I think you could possibly get that is when they go from their car to the ferries to get out of town.
Even that.
That's the only thing.
No,
Or if they go from their cars to get on the train.
Even that. That only accounts for 2,000 people.
See, they throw this crap out there, and knowing that nobody's going to pay attention. You got a handful of people that question them. You have an even smaller handful of people that will go to the city council meeting and confront them.
Yeah.
And so they get away with whatever they want.
Yeah.
They say whatever they want.
Yeah.
And the newspapers picks it up, and they go with it on their own slant.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And
you got to remember, this newspaper, in their, I don't know, charter, whatever you want to call it, they also get a particular tax break.
the day does?
Yes,
You can't,
from
I
their
don't know.
parent company, yeah.
Why would they get a tax break?
Because that's the way they were set up in the beginning.
Man, there's no end to this.
No. No.
What else you got for us,
Oh,
Larry?
well, that's, that
Jeez
was,
almighty.
what should we start with
Now I
here?
know why people move out of this town.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, where should we do?
I see he's
Oh, let's see, oh yeah, let me, you mentioned it before about the Connecticut tax limit, 2.5%,
yeah.
and
Now, don't go confusing people.
I'll try to explain it simple as I possibly can. That the mayor more or less announced that on one of his shows, saying that the state legislature is considering making that a law in the state. Can't raise the property taxes more than 2.5% a year. And right away he snapped up and he says, yes, California had proposition, oh, I forgot what
2.5,
the
I
number
think it
was. No,
It
no,
wasn't
it was
2.5?
two- It
Or
was,
Proposition 2 or something?
no, well, I always thought it was 2, it was 13, I think. We could only go up 2%.
Because Massachusetts did it too.
No, wait, he had not done with California.
Oh, okay.
And he says that devastated the state of California. And I'm going, what? Where have you been? Because as near as I can remember, when they announced that they're not going to go up more than 2% a year on the taxes, the real estate agents, they had a bonus day. People were outbidding each other to buy houses. They were paying above, list prices to get the house because they knew that taxes wouldn't go up more than 2% a year.
That would definitely draw people in.
So this is what he's saying ruined California. He didn't bother to say, well, what really ruined California was after that, they let in how many hundreds of thousands of Mexicans. And right away, all the kids went to school for free.
Yeah.
They all got food stamps. They all got medical care for free, got transportation for free, everything free, free, free. That's what killed California.
Oh, yeah.
Paying for all those people. Oh, that reminds me of something else. It's a good thing you reminded me of things.
I know it. I'm doing it telepathically, too.
Right now, from what I was told, there are 11 states right now that have more people on welfare than people working.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
But this part, and this is the horrible part, the checks that they're getting from welfare is equal to working 40 hours a week at $30 an hour. That's the size of the welfare checks they're getting. But if you're working 40 hours a week, your paycheck is $20 an hour.
Yeah, it's definitely unbalanced.
How long can those states stay afloat?
How long can the country stay afloat? Right now, from the last figure I read, over 45% of the people in this country are on some form of assistance and are also on food stamps.
Yeah.
How long, like you say, can that keep going on?
Yeah.
Who's paying that bill?
The homeowners,
Exactly.
the ones that can't escape.
And then what happens is when you reach a point to where you can't afford to contribute your share to people that aren't contributing,
Yeah.
not all of them, don't go crazy on me, I didn't say everybody,
Yeah.
you end up in that situation.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah, but
the numbers go up.
you may as well give up. You get more money if you don't work.
You actually, for some people, they don't bother looking for work because for them it's going to be a cut in pay.
Yeah.
So some of them that may not want to be on some form of assistance, that may want to work, they can't because the cut in pay will put them in a position where they're not going to be able to afford to survive.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I heard Donald Trump on Michael Savage tonight,
Oh.
and as you know, he's running for president. And he was talking about how he just signed a contract to buy thousands and thousands of TVs for one of his businesses.
Uh-huh.
And he asked the people that work on it, he says, I want you to find me American-made TVs,
Yeah.
TVs that are made here.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, all right, why doesn't somebody that has money, that loves the country, open up a TV factory and put people to work? Don't put them to work for $20,000, $30 an hour. Start them out at something reasonable, $12,000, $15 an hour. And then once you're in here as a company and you're building American products and you're hiring American people, then you go and get some of the breaks that these companies that aren't even here get. I mean, these companies in other countries.
The companies here are getting breaks.
I know, but the breaks are helping them overseas. I'm talking about having an American company
Yeah.
get some breaks and keeping it all here.
But then you can't afford to buy the TV.
Well, you could, if the company wasn't looking to make $300 million profit,
No, it isn't.
make a $100 million profit. How much profit are you going to make?
In order to keep the prices down to something that you could afford to buy the TV, the people would have to get paid less than $5 an hour.
I don't believe that.
Well,
I don't believe that.
because you have to understand how much it costs to have a TV built in China.
You don't think that the country's at a point now to where for a lot of people, they would maybe pay a little extra, and I don't even think they need to pay a little extra.
No.
I mean, if you just not buy that stuff from China, if people just stopped buying that stuff and they had an alternative to buy it in this country, see, that's half the problem now, if not more than half the problem, is even if you want to buy American, you're so limited to what you can buy. So you don't have a choice.
Do you go to Job Lot?
Yes, I do,
Why?
because prices are cheap.
Right, there's your answer.
But where, the stuff that I buy there, where can you buy that being made in America?
Because you wouldn't be able to buy it for that price.
That's what they got us believing, but how do you know?
That's why they all went to China with their factories. And it's not only that, the Congress we have allows all of these companies to register their American business in a foreign country so they don't have to pay the United States taxes.
They gotta find a way to switch it around, or
Well, they
we might as
won't.
well hang it up.
The congressmen won't, because that's where they get all of their campaign funds. You know?
Well, it's gonna keep on going on until people stop making some kind of a stand. And I'm not sure where to begin. We got a call.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that was your first job on this show.
I know it.
Oh.
Yeah, I got
Can I
sucked
see
into
it?
that.
There it is.
You got it?
Yeah. Hello, you're on with Dennis.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Hi.
Dennis,
Yes.
the problem with building a TV or anything is a TV is made up of many component parts. Now, I got a Volvo car. It's made in Sweden, right? Well, you open up the hood, you get in there, and you look around, you see this little thing is made in Japan, this little thing's made in Germany, this other little gizzy thing is made someplace else. It's all the components. Now, you just don't build a TV. What you do
I
is
know that. I know that.
I know you know it, but you sound like you don't know it. You say build a TV. It's all the parts. We can't. That's the problem. We have to import all these parts. Just show me something. I mean, I don't know what kind of a truck you got, but have you been under the hood?
Yes,
Is it
I
all
have.
made here?
Yes, I have, and I know exactly what you're saying. But think for a minute. There was a time in this country when you could build that TV, and even if you had to bring parts in from another country, you still built it here. And a lot of what you used to build that TV was made here.
Right.
We had the companies that were making those kind of things, and now they're all gone. So why not try to find a way? Why can't someone that becomes president of this country, for crying out loud, find a way to either bring back or force these companies to come back?
Because we borrow money from China.
And what's China going to do if we renege?
I don't know. I'm on your side. Believe me, I like American-made products. It really ticked me off. One year we bought, I think, 3,000 American flags put on graves for Memorial Day, and flags are made in Taiwan. Look at the
Yeah.
flags and see where they're made. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man, that's like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Buying flags.
This year, I know they made sure that the flags are made in the United States because that's a pretty easy thing to make. I mean, all you got to do is have a printing press and that prints on fabric. But when you get components like a television set or a car, it's tough. It really is. I wish we could do it.
I know a while back, some years back, my wife bought a Saturn automobile. And the big thing with them was it was built in America. Now, of course, all the parts weren't built in America. They shipped them in from other countries. But they assembled it and had the plant that assembled these cars here. And maybe that's a start. We got to do something, because otherwise we're going to be like some of these Mideastern towns or cities or countries to where everybody's out in the streets fighting and doing whatever because none of them have a job.
Well, I read a lot of stories and a lot of stuff about World War II, and one of the things that always shocked me was during World War II, Germany, Japan, and the United States all bought prisms and optical equipment from Switzerland for the bomb sites.
Oh,
You know, so I mean, yeah, even though during the war we were importing stuff from somebody else, and everybody was it was nobody bombed the place that made the stuff because we were all buying from them. But anyway, interesting show, and there's no answer. That's the problem.
I guess not.
Answer.
All right, Clark, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
okay.
We got another call.
Yeah, just a second. He's talking about parts, different parts. Well, it reminded me, we put in
Hang on, caller.
our latest boiler in the house. It's a Wiesmann German boiler. Well, when we got it, then I saw the burner itself was Italian. Now, all of the circulating pumps and the electronics is Denmark. So then they're shipped to Canada in pieces. It's assembled in Canada. And then crosses the border here and we buy it. Let me catch this one.
All right.
Hello, you're on.
You got to hold it.
Whoop. Yeah, I'm holding it down. Go ahead.
Talking about a cost of living and making more money, paying more money to different countries, having cars built and so forth and so on. If we lower the wages in this country, you can have the same thing in this country. We don't want to work for less money. That's why things get done overseas in different parts of the world, different countries, everything else. They work cheaper. We cannot lower ourselves to work cheaper. This is the biggest reason why things cost a lot around here. American people are making a lot of money per hour. You think people in Japan, Switzerland is making $40 an hour, equivalent to an American worker? I don't think so.
No, they're not.
That's why, Dennis, you would go to a job lot to save money. So the country's doing the same thing. The industry companies are doing the same thing. They're building cars. I don't care if they're building refrigerators, shoes, anything they build. They have stuff done overseas because it's cheaper to build, cheaper to buy. But we will not work for their low wages. This is what's wrong with this country. Years ago, when unions started, I thought it was a good idea. But I think unions just putting us right down. That's my honest opinion. Thank you very much.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. Well, he's right.
Hey,
We've got ourselves into a position to where it costs so much to live in this country for the most part.
Yeah.
But what's happening that I see is that it's getting less and less possible for you to make that kind of money anywhere.
It's getting less and less possible.
Still had his
Oh,
call on. But I don't know the answer. I mean, sometimes the answer is as simple as in the palm of your hand, but you look everywhere around it for an answer. Maybe it's time, instead of trying to make a lot of money real quick, maybe making money over a longer period of time, you're going to get to the same place. Just going to take a little longer.
yeah, I want to go back to your 1.5 billion, that the grand list is. Now, how did that go from, I think it was 839 million. It just about doubled, since year 2000. It doubled. Now, you would think there was a lot of development and building in town. Have you seen $800 million worth of building?
That's what I'm saying.
You can't count EB because there were only 50 million. So what accounts for $800 million increase in the grand list? Absolutely nothing. It's just the city council raising the value on your house. That's what they call development. making your house 2 and 3 and 4 times
So they're
the value
raising the
of what it
value of
used to
your
be.
house without you knowing they're raising the value of your house, just so the grand list will show
In order-
potential
in order-
bonding companies that, hey, well, they have a grand list of over $1 billion. We'll bond them some money.
Well, it was,
Is that what you're saying?
we were paying 25 million in property taxes back in 2000. Now we're paying 40 million in taxes. So they keep talking about development is going to keep taxes down. The value of the town went up, double, and they didn't do a thing. All they did was raise the value of your house to get more money to blow.
No, the more.
There's no building. There's no development.
I don't see where we have that kind of a grand list. I can't see anything in this town that
Right.
even comes close in my mind's eye to being in the $1 billion bracket.
Well, it's all numbers on a piece of paper. That's all it is. They raised the value of your house, they put an artificial number on it. And now, you say it's going to be 40 mils. Now, this is something we could make a whole show on, is why do we use the mils as a number?
I don't know.
Why can't we use percent? Do you understand mils? Just say no.
No.
That's okay. That's all.
I was trying to figure out some way I could understand it.
No.
You gotta beat it into my head for me.
Do you
to
understand percentage a little bit
I'm
more?
not very good at percentage.
Well, how much is your sales tax?
I don't know, what's it, 6.5?
Well, it's 6.35, but all right. You're used to sales tax. You pay it when you go to a restaurant. You pay
Yeah.
it when you buy your shoes, your clothes, everything. You understand what sales tax is. It's a percent.
No, what I understand
No.
about sales tax is that's what the state wants for
Yeah.
their chunk.
Yeah, all right.
How do
So-
they come up with a 6 point whatever percent